In this video, I'm going to show you how you can configure a newsletter. There are a number of ways that you can configure a newsletter. You can click the link in the menu, Configure Newsletter. You can click the button, the bottom here, Configure Newsletter. Or you can do it from the top menu through Marketing, Email Marketing. So I'm just going to select the menu, Configure Newsletter. I already have a newsletter that I'm using. But if you wanted to create a new one, I'll just show you the process. Click Create a Newsletter. And then select your provider. If you haven't got any of those provided, then just select Other Service. I'll select MailChimp. Then Next. And then you need to provide the API key from your particular service. To get the MailChimp API key, you would have to sign into your MailChimp account and then locate the API key, copy it, and then come back and paste it, and then update. And then it brings you back to this screen here where you could edit or delete that account. So let's just see what happens after you've linked your accounts, and I'll use the newsletter that I already have created. So I'll select my current newsletter, then click Configuration, and you can put in who the newsletter is from. So you put your name, your email address in the from and reply to. You can change the list. If you're using MailChimp, for example, you can have multiple mail lists. Well, this is where you can change the list and the title of the newsletter. Click the Design tab, which is where you create your newsletter. Now you can add content from these tabs, so content that's come in from today's feeds or during the week, the month. Let's do an example. So if I wanted to add something from today, I click the plus to add that to my newsletter content. You can see it here. There's the article. So let me show you how you can select the content for your newsletter really quickly. Click the button, select News from the News section, and then click the Most Popular button. And this will show you the most popular news collected in your account since you sent your last newsletter. And you can scroll through this news, and then any news you'd like to add to your newsletter, just click the newsletter button. And you'll see it change colour to indicate that it's been added to your newsletter. The best part about the most popular section is that you can create a great newsletter really fast by checking the most popular news since you sent your last newsletter and choosing the most popular stories that you like best to add to your new newsletter. Then click the newsletter button to go back. And there's the article that you just added. Now you can edit any of the content in the newsletter just by simply clicking inside the content, and you can add text. So I could type in some new text and anywhere I'd like, or delete text and do whatever you want to the content inside the article, because you're not editing the actual article, you're just editing the information for your readers. You can move your content around. So if I just hover over an article, I can move that to a different position, put it here. I could add a section, and under any of these articles, there's a little plus button where I could add a new section. So if I wanted to put a new section in just here, add a section. Maybe it's going to add a section on fitness apps. I could add an image. So under that section, I want to perhaps put an image, so I can tap the plus sign again and add an image. So click here to download an image from your hard drive. So I'm going to put an image in because I'd like to start a section on fitness apps, all about Fitbits. And if you think that if that picture's too big, then you can go back and resize that picture yourself. If you don't like that, then there's a trash can where you can delete that picture. So you can add all sorts of things. You can add more news, you can add a section, add text, add an image, add a product, add a video, and you can also add a survey. So if I click that button, at the bottom of the newsletter will be a survey where the users can then select a rating, and then you can provide a number of messages, which we'll see shortly. Now you can also configure the template. So if you click that button, configure the template, you can change any of this information. So if I don't like the text, I'm going to select Helvetica for the titles. And then I think I'd like Helvetica for the text as well, and the size of the title could make that a little bit bigger. So anything you want to change, you can change, and then click Save Changes. If you'd like to check what your newsletter looks like, there is a Send Test button where you can test your newsletter, send it to your email address. And every time you send a newsletter, the body of the newsletter, which are all your articles, all these is all the body, will disappear, and your template will be ready for your next newsletter. So the header and the footer remains. You click the Schedule tab to configure when you'd like to send your newsletter. Now you can send it now, immediately, or you can set up a schedule. So every week or every month or every day. So every day, click that button, and which days do you want to send it, and what time do you want to send it, and the ability to change your time zone. So it's going to go out at an accurate time for you in the History tab. You can select here to see previous newsletters that you've sent. The Rating tab. So if you've configured a survey, in this screen you can specify what someone sees when they click on a specific rating of your survey. So if I click this button, I can see my survey, and then if I click any of these buttons here, I can see what that rating is. So if I wanted to see what is the message when somebody clicks on a 3, this is the message that they'll see. And this message here, we really want to improve. This message is what you can configure in this section here. If somebody clicks 1, 2 or 3 in the survey, this is the message that they will see, and you can change that. If they click a 4 or a 5, then they're going to get this message. So for example, just go back, click a 4, then you get the message, and you also get that share on Twitter. In the Template tab, you can select one of our templates, so simply a normal template or images, or you can add your own template by uploading it. And if you have your own template, let us know and we'll upload it for you. And here you have the HTML code of your newsletter. So if for any reason you want to send this newsletter through another service, you can copy that code and send it. So in this video, you learned how to configure a newsletter.